Hi, this is Brian. I want to give you a little context on what you're about to watch. This is an introduction to one of our Mastery Series sessions. We have 25 classes like this as part of our 300-day Optimized Coach certification program, in which we help people move from theory to practice to mastery so they can master themselves, serve heroically, and empower others to do the same. Now, we've had nearly 2,000 people from nearly 70 countries go through our Optimized Coach program. About half of the people who go through the program are coaches who want to take their coaching practice to the next level, or they are aspiring coaches who want to become full-time coaches. The other half, and it's weird because almost exactly half want to do one or the other, are going through the program because they want to master their lives and become better executives, educators, doctors, entrepreneurs, moms, dads, and humans, even though they don't plan to be professional coaches per se. You can learn more about the program at optimize.me/coach. For now, I'm excited to share the introduction to one of those Mastery Series sessions. I hope you love it. And if you're feeling it, we'd be honored to welcome you to our Optimize Coach program. Let's change the world, one person at a time, together, starting with you and me today. Hi, this is Brian. Welcome back to the Optimized Mastery Series. Today we've got Module 4, Carpe Diem, Part 4, Energy. Now, I get excited about all these sessions, but I might be most excited about this. How do we optimize our energy so we can give the world all we've got? Before we jump in, we're going to step back one more time deliberately to do a quick recap, and I'm going to challenge you learning 101 style, especially important for coaches, and anyone who wants to master the process of learning. There are 3 core aspects to learning. Again, check out Learning 101 for the deep dive. But the first is recall, active recall. When you go through the process of trying to remember something, that strengthens the memory. If you just reread your notes or something, it may seem like you know it, it's familiar, but you need to challenge yourself if you really want to learn. Recall is number 1, which is why I keep on asking you, can you tell me where we've been? What was Module 1, 2, 3, 4? How do they tie together? Why are we going in this sequence? That would be recall. The second key aspect of effective learning is spaced repetition. You don't want to cram if you want to master something. You want to space out your reps, which is why we don't let our mastery students and coaches binge watch these sessions. We space them out by a week. Then we challenge you to actively recall as we go. That's how you deepen a learning memory, a learning trace, and deepen your understanding of material. The third, and arguably most powerful way to go about doing it, is to teach it. So what are you learning? Teach it. Particularly powerful for coaches. And then there's the bonus 0 and infinity, live it. Actually live these ideas. You combine that with recall, spaced repetition, and teaching it, and you have a good shot at mastering this material. So with that aside into optimal learning, what have we covered so far? Let's take a moment. I'll take a deep breath while you think about it, and then we'll go hammer it. Yep, Module 1 was eudaimonology, the study of a good soul. That would be you and yours. Aristotle, Seligman, eudaimonia via arete, flourishing by putting our virtues in action, high-fiving that inner daimon. What's up, Optimus? For me, what's yours called? That was our first module. The second was heroology, the study of a good hero. That would be you. We spent 3 sessions here, operationalizing the wisdom from Joseph Campbell and others. What's your hero's journey look like? How do we cultivate anti-fragile confidence, heroic courage, and responsibility? We covered that, knowing that obstacles are here to make us stronger, before we looked at Module 3. The big 3 times 2, what are they? Energy, work, and love. By what? Identity, virtues, behaviors. Then what did we say? We said, look, all that's nice, but today's the day. Carpe Diem, seize the day, big picture, PM, AM, today. We've got energy, then we're going to look at work, then we're going to look at love. That's a long prelude, huh? That was fun. So, what do we got today? We got 10 big ideas and 11th bonus one for our coaches. The first is, one more time, today's the day. Have I mentioned that? Let's look at it again. Revisit our PM bookend, our AM bookend, what's working, what needs a little work, etc. We're also going to talk about the power of exponential growth. When you aggregate and compound these tiny gains and big gains, you can make some extraordinary gains. We'll reflect on that one more time. The second big idea is identity management. I'm going to propose that it all starts with identity management. Who are you at your energy best? That's going to drive virtue management, which will drive energy management, which will then lead to time management, which is our second big idea. Our third. Energy management versus time management. Most people start with their day and say, hey, how do I manage my time? That's not where we're going to start. We're going to start by managing our energy. Because if you're trying to manage your time and squeeze every possible thing into it, you may result in the experience of having enervated anxiety. We want energized tranquility. So energy management, energized tranquility versus time management, which can lead to enervated anxiety. Then we're going to talk about how to train our energy. So how do you manage your energy? We have three big ideas here. Your physiology, the fundamentals of your physiology, your psychology, getting your mind right, and those two work together. We're going to talk about that and the powerful connection. Then your focus, right? So your physiology, your psychology, your focus will each have their own ideas. Then we're going to talk about carpe rhythms. I want you to see the rhythms of your life. We're going to talk about your heartbeat. Did you know, fun fact, that your heart actually rests significantly more than it works? Most people think it'd probably be pretty even. It's not. Your heart rests 15 hours out of every 24 hours. It only works 9 hours out of every 24 hours. Interesting, huh? Heartbeat, the waves we want to make in our lives, we're going to talk about being intensely on, boom, and intensely off. Most people are flatline, never totally on, never totally off. We're going to change that today. At least take some first steps. Then we're going to get into the reflection and the practice. We're going to revisit our PM bookends in our AM bookends. See what's working, celebrate that, see what needs work, remind ourselves of how to take mistakes and use that data to get a little bit better. It's going to be fun. We're going to revisit that exponential growth opportunities. Then we're going to take an inventory of what I call enervators vis-a-vis energizers. The fastest way to improve your life, to optimize your life, by far, is to quit doing the things that don't work. The kryptonites. So we want to identify the kryptonites, the things we're doing energy-wise that simply don't work, and we want to swap them out with energizers, right? So rather than unplugging from the divine force that's always available for us, we want to plug into the supercharger. We're going to take an inventory. And then what's fun is once we get through energy, work, and love, we're going to spend 3 more sessions on algorithms and help you literally rewrite the algorithms from enervators to energizers. It's going to be awesome. The 10th big idea today is going to be, make sure we got them all, yep. 10th is going to be your professional optimizer / professional hero, which will be a fun part of our identity discussion. What does that version of you, what is your energy protocol? We're going to get clear on that. Again, looking at the bookends, looking at your eating, moving, sleeping, breathing, being present habits. I'm going to share some of my practices, etc. Then the 11th idea is coaches. It's time now, more than ever, to be it and teach it today. Let's jump in. All right, first big idea. Today's the day, and we're going to talk about limitless steps and the power of aggregating and compounding all these tiny gains. One more time, today's the day. Carpe Diem. We want to move from theory to practice to mastery, from the abstract to the concrete. Today's the day. Let's get to it. We started this module by saying we wanted to help you really get that point, number 1, and number 2, get really good at creating masterpiece days, which again is why we're deliberately, sequentially walking ourselves through each of the core facets of that masterpiece day. Bookends, you have more control over your PM and your AM, and those are the highest leverage points, the things we can pull that will most change our lives. So pay attention to them. How are yours doing? We'll revisit this in depth toward the end of our time together today. And I want to talk about exponential growth. What happens when we aggregate and compound and spiral up with all of these little gains? Well, I loved this metaphor that was described in a book called Limitless by Jim Quick. Awesome book. Highly recommend it. Check out the notes. Lots of stuff on learning and on growth and on self-mastery, etc. But this particular idea stuck out. If you take 30 normal steps, you'll get about 90 feet down the street. You're making progress. That's awesome. But if you take 30 exponential steps where you're doing the highest leverage, exponentially awesome things, aggregating and compounding big wins, you know how far you'll get with those 30 exponential steps? Not just 90 feet down the street. You'll get to so far you can actually go around planet Earth 24 times. That's the power of exponential growth. That's the power of aggregating and compounding small and big wins. So when I talk about the PM bookends and the AM bookends, there are ideas in there that can lead to exponential growth. If you turn off your electronics earlier, and we're not even talking crazy times, an hour earlier, hour and a half or whatever, you get an hour more of sleep a day, that's an exponential step. You start your day the next morning and you don't roll over and look at your phone. You actually go deep into meditation, deep into work, deep into love with your family. That's an exponential step. I got goosebumps right now. You put 30 of those together over the course of our time together, and you literally change your life and you whiz around the earth, what is it, a couple dozen times. So this is the power of these seemingly small changes, these seemingly small steps. But when we aggregate and compound the truly most important stuff, and again, coaches, when we're working with our clients, we want to help them find what the number one highest leverage thing is. What do you think you could do to change your life? And then go do it. And right now, of course, in this phase, we're client number 0. So let's get to work. Take those exponential, limitless steps. Hey, this is Brian again. I hope you enjoyed that overview of a Mastery Series session and got some wisdom out of it you can apply to your life today. What was it? Again, you can learn more about our Optimized Coach program at optimize.me/coach. And here's a fun little video we put together featuring some of our Optimized Coach graduates describing what they got out of our program and why they loved it so much. You can also check out hundreds of other testimonials at optimize.me/coach. Have an awesome day, and let's do this.
This year, everything changed.
The single best year of my life.
It is the most essential course for living your optimist self, being who you need to be. It gave me clarity of what I want to do in life.
If you want to totally change your life, join Optimize. Like I look at New Year's resolutions every year. I'm really good at making them, but it's funny because I look back and they were always the same goals, like every single year. I can actually do new goals this next year because I've put into practice, and it's just part of my life. It's part of my routine. It's who I am. And that's amazing to be able to move forward like that with that confidence.
Through the program, I've been able to see how much more can I improve, how many things I thought I was doing okay or well that were not, because I was perhaps lacking the right information or being very conscious about the practice. So totally my energy improved, my mood, my vitality. So as I said before, even though I was doing okay, I thought I was doing great. I was doing okay compared to now. So now you can maybe feel it, sense it, much more alive.
It's really catapulted me in new directions and has helped me be a better leader and coach.
You know, I've been somebody who I feel like I hold space for a lot of people, but there wasn't somebody to hold the space for me. Becoming an optimizer was one of those places where like, oh, wow, this is what that feels like. And it was really powerful.
The way that Brian simplifies a lot of the data that he has, like he gets the science behind it, but because he uses that every single day in his own life, he makes it really practical and very simple to apply it very easily. Like if you listen to something on one day, you could be practicing on that same day.
We start repeating it or living it without like conscious effort because it just becomes ingrained in who we are.
Everyone has their own story that they're kind of living through. And Optimize really helped me to not play the victim in my story, but play the hero and solve my problems.
But the piece that was missing my whole life was the part about obstacles. And it's okay to think about what could go wrong. In fact, it's necessary to think about those things and to plan for them. And that's been the most life-changing thing for me over the last year.
I've had multiple sclerosis for 30 years. And this year, the work that I did in Optimize dramatically changed my medical history.
If you've ever wanted to improve and develop and reach a higher version of yourself, but have been putting it off, this is the time, now is the time. From a person, I'm not getting paid to do this, I would say, go and sign up and do the hard work. This will change your life.